Hello, and welcome back to another deep dive. It is really wonderful to have you with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Now, usually when we start these deep dives, we have a huge stack of articles, complex research papers, really dense data.
Right, the heavy stuff.
Exactly. And we tend to go like a million miles an hour. We try to cram as much sophisticated information as possible into your brain in a very short amount of time.
We do talk pretty fast usually.
We really do. But today's going to be a little bit different. And frankly, I am really excited about it.
I am too, because today we are intentionally slowing things down. We are taking a deep breath and just pacing ourselves.
Yeah. We have a very specific mission today. We are looking at a source material that focuses on daily routines, productivity, habits, lifestyle.
But specifically, this deep dive is designed for our listeners who are learning English.
That is right. This is a special edition. So if you are listening to this right now and you want to practice your English listening skills, you're in exactly the right place.
We are going to speak clearly. We are going to keep our pace moderate, not too fast.
Right. And we are going to avoid using big, complicated academic words where a simple, clear word will do just fine.
Exactly. We want to be accessible. We want you to understand every single concept without having to, pause and look at a dictionary every 5 seconds.
That ruins the fun of listening.
It really does. But I want to make one thing clear. Just because we are speaking simply doesn't mean the ideas aren't powerful.
Oh, absolutely not. The concepts we are discussing today regarding how you manage your day, they can actually change your life.
Simple language can still carry complex and really helpful ideas.
For sure. So today we are analyzing a series called the Daily Routine Series, specifically Part 2.
Yeah, and this series follows 2 characters, Emily and Paul.
I really love these 2 characters. Reading through the source material, they feel like real people.
They aren't superheroes.
No, they have real struggles. They get tired, they get stressed, just like you and me.
Exactly. So before we jump into their schedule and really dissect their day, let me ask you a question.
Okay, shoot.
How's your energy level right now?
Oh, wow. That is a good question. My energy level.
Yeah.
It is interesting you asked that because in the source material, Paul, one of our characters, he uses a really great metaphor for this. He compares his energy to a mountain climber.
A mountain climber, like someone climbing Mount Everest.
Exactly like that. Imagine a mountain climber. He says he is trying to reach the top, the peak of the mountain. But right now, he is currently only at the halfway camp.
The halfway camp? So he is not at the bottom, but he isn't at the top yet.
Right. He is tired. The air is thin up there. His legs are heavy. He needs a really significant push to get to the peak.
I think we all feel like that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Every Wednesday.
Exactly. We start the day strong, maybe, but by the middle of the day or the middle of the week, we are just looking for a place to rest. We feel stuck at that halfway camp.
We need that final push. Well, hopefully this deep dive is that push for you. So let's look at the topic. We are covering productivity and staying fresh.
This is what the source calls the action phase of the day.
The action phase.
Right. In the previous part of the source material, part 1, the characters discussed the morning battle.
Oh, the morning battle. You know the drill. Waking up when it is still dark outside. Making the bed. Drinking that first essential cup of coffee.
Just the basics of getting out of bed.
Surviving the morning.
Exactly. But today we are moving past that. We are looking at what happens next.
We are looking at the commute, the actual workday, and how to survive the afternoon without crashing and falling asleep right at your desk.
And just a quick check here. Did we stop hitting the snooze button? I know that was a really big topic last time.
Oh, right, the snooze button. According to the source, Paul actually did.
He did.
He only hit it once today.
Wow. That is a record for him. Usually he hits it 3 or 4 times.
Progress. I love it. Small steps. Okay, so let's unpack the first major part of the day. The journey. The commute.
Right, the commute. This is the time between leaving your front door and arriving at your workplace.
And for our character, Paul, this is not a short trip. It isn't a simple 5-minute walk down the street.
No, it is not. The source notes that Paul has a 40-minute bus ride.
40 minutes. Now, 40 minutes might not sound like a total disaster at first. You might think, oh, that's not too bad. I can do 40 minutes.
Sure, it sounds okay.
But let's do the math on that. Let's really look at what that means for your life.
Let's break it down. That is 40 minutes to get to work in the morning.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you have to come home. So that is another 40 minutes.
40 plus 40. That is 80 minutes every single day.
80 minutes. And if you work 5 days a week,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
that is 400 minutes. That is over 6 hours a week, just sitting on a bus.
Over 6 hours. That is almost a full workday just spent traveling. That is a significant amount of your life.
It really is.
If you look at it over a whole year, you are spending weeks of your life just sitting in a vehicle, staring out the window.
And it's not just the time, right? It isn't just the minutes ticking by on the clock. It's the environment. It is the quality of that time.
That is a great point. What is the atmosphere like on this bus?
Well, Paul describes it as a jungle.
A jungle. It is wild. But the key word here, the vocabulary word we really want to highlight for our listeners who are learning English, is crowded.
Crowded. Let me spell that. CROWDEDD. Crowded.
Yes. It simply means too many people. There is no space to move at all. You are shoulder to shoulder with complete strangers.
Paul uses a visual analogy here that I think is hilarious, but also very, very accurate. He says he feels like a sardine in a can.
A sardine in a can. This is a very common idiom in English. You might also hear packed like sardines.
Right. Have you ever seen a tin of sardines at the supermarket?
Oh, yes. It is a small, flat metal can. I usually avoid them, to be honest.
Me too. But the fish inside, they are packed in there so tightly, side by side. They absolutely cannot move. They are squished together in oil.
It is a perfect image. So when you are on a bus or a train and someone is pushing against your back and someone else's elbow is digging into your side,
And you can smell the shampoo or maybe the sweat of the person right next to you.
you are packed like sardines. You are in a very crowded space.
That's exactly. And looking at the source material, the mood on this bus isn't great.
Not at all. People are staring at their phones, just scrolling endlessly. People look angry or they look really tired.
And it smells like a bus, which usually means a mix of old coffee, diesel fumes, and just humanity. It sounds miserable.
It does. It sounds like a place where happiness just goes to die. It sounds like wasted life.
Right.
But here is where it gets really interesting for Paul.
Right. Paul doesn't just sit there and suffer.
No, he decides to change his mindset completely.
He transforms the experience. He turns the bus into a mobile classroom.
A mobile classroom. I love this concept. Instead of a prison, the bus becomes a school. How does he actually do that?
He changes the environment using a very specific tool. Noise-canceling headphones.
Okay, let's define that for a second. Noise canceling. This is an important term for modern technology.
These are special headphones that use technology to block out all the outside sounds.
So imagine the crying baby 3 seats away from you.
Wow. Gone. You can't hear it.
Imagine the loud engine of the bus. Vroom.
Gone. Blocked out.
Imagine the people talking really loudly on their phones about their dinner plans.
Completely gone. Silence.
Exactly. You are in your own world. You control exactly what you hear.
And once he has those headphones on, he changes the concept of the time itself. He calls it transforming dead time.
Dead time is a fascinating concept. It refers to those moments in life where you are doing nothing productive. You are just waiting.
Like standing in line at the grocery store. You're just watching the person in front of you pay for their milk. You can't do anything else. Exactly. Or sitting in traffic on the highway. Your car is stopped. Or waiting for a dentist appointment in the lobby. You are physically there, but you aren't doing anything useful.
Usually we just waste that time. We treat it like trash. We scroll through social media. We look at funny pictures of cats.
We just stare at the wall and wish we were somewhere else.
Correct. We just let the time slip away.
Uh-huh.
But Paul turns dead time into learning time.
Yes. He listens to English stories. He listens to podcasts. Maybe even a podcast like this one.
He is active in his listening. He isn't just letting the sound wash over him while he daydreams. He is really engaged with the material.
And the result isn't just that he learns something new. It actually changes how he feels about the ride, doesn't it?
It really does. It has a massive psychological effect. He mentions that the ride actually feels shorter.
That makes perfect sense. When you are bored, time moves so slowly. Tick, tock, tick tock. It feels like forever.
But when you are engaged, when your brain is working, time flies.
He is so focused on learning, for example. The source says he is focusing on past tense verbs in a story, that when the driver shouts his stop, he is genuinely surprised.
He thinks, I'm already here. How did that happen?
That is a miracle for a 40-minute bus ride.
Exactly. He turned a negative experience, a crowded, smelly, loud bus, into a positive, productive session.
He arrives at work feeling like he accomplished something before the day even officially started. He learned something while everyone else was just sitting there being angry.
I love that. It's about taking control of your environment. Okay, so you survived the commute, you get off the bus, you walk into the office building, you go up the elevator.
Now we are in segment 2, starting the workday.
This is where things usually go very wrong for people. This is the danger zone.
The source calls this the morning workflow. Describe the scene for us.
So you arrive, you sit down at your desk, you have your fresh coffee in your hand. What is the very first thing you do? Be honest with me.
If I'm being honest, I usually turn on the computer, I sit down, and I open my email immediately. It's automatic. It's a habit.
And that is exactly what the source calls the email trap.
The email trap? That sounds dangerous. Why is it a trap?
Because you open it, and what do you see?
I see a list. A very long, bold list of unread messages.
You see 50 new messages, maybe more if it was a lazy weekend, and they all want something from you.
And instantly I feel stressed. My heart rate goes up. I feel the anxiety right in my stomach.
You feel stressed, and as Paul says in the source, you start wanting a cookie. You want comfort food because you are anxious about all these messages.
But the real problem is not just the stress. The problem is that you become reactive.
Let's unpack that word for our listeners. Reactive. This is the opposite of proactive.
Right. Being reactive means you are responding to other people's needs instead of your own.
You open an email, and someone is asking for a file. Another person wants to schedule a meeting. Another person has a complaint about a project.
So you start typing replies. You start fixing their problems. You spend your first hour solving their issues.
Exactly. You are putting out fires. And suddenly you look at the clock. It is 11 o'clock in the morning, and you realize you haven't done any of the work you actually needed to do.
You lost control of your morning. You gave your best energy, your fresh morning energy, away to everyone else.
Precisely. You started the day on defense, not offense.
So what is the solution? The source gives us a phrase that sounds, well, frankly, it sounds disgusting. Eat the frog.
Huh. Yes. We need to be very clear for our English learners here. We are not talking about biology.
We are not talking about French cuisine.
I am not telling you to bring a green, slimy animal to work and put it in your mouth. Please do not do that.
Your colleagues will be very confused. They might call security or a doctor.
Eat the frog is an idiom. It comes from a famous quote attributed to the American writer Mark Twain.
Mark Twain was a very clever and funny man. And what was the idea behind this quote?
The idea is this. He said that if the first thing you do in the morning is eat a live frog, you can go through the rest of the day with a smile on your face,
Why a smile?
knowing that the worst thing has already happened to you.
That is true logic. Nothing worse can happen to you all day than eating a live frog.
Exactly. It is a powerful metaphor.
Right. So in the context of office productivity, what does the frog represent?
The frog represents your most difficult task, the task you are afraid of, the task you are procrastinating on.
The one you keep pushing to tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next.
For Paul, the character in our source, his frog, is the monthly budget report.
Oh, I hate budget reports. Spreadsheets, calculators, lots of tiny numbers.
It is complicated. It gives him a headache. He doesn't want to do it. So usually he would push it to later in the day. He would say, oh, I'll do it after lunch.
But the eat the frog strategy says you must do it first.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
That is the protocol. That is the rule you must follow.
So you do this before you check your email.
Before email. Before reading the news on your phone. Before chatting with your coworkers about the weather or the sports game last night.
You sit down, you ignore everything else, and you work on that one difficult task for 1 solid hour.
It requires a lot of discipline. It is hard to do.
It does, but think about how you feel afterwards.
If I finish the hardest thing by 10 o'clock in the morning, I feel like a hero.
You feel amazing. You have conquered the hardest part of your day. The weight is off your shoulders. You don't have that stress hanging over you all day long.
And then
You can have your coffee. Then you can check your email.
it's a built-in reward system. You do the hard work, then you get the easy work.
Exactly. Just a small piece of advice from the host, Emily, in the source, though. Don't literally tell your boss, I am eating a frog.
Haha, I can imagine that conversation. The boss asks, where is Paul? And someone says, oh, he's in his office eating a frog.
They might send you to a psychiatrist. Just say you are focusing on a priority task. That sounds much more professional.
Very good advice.
Right?
I am handling a priority task. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have conquered the morning. We ate the frog. We feel good. We checked our email. Now the clock hits 12:30. It is lunchtime.
This brings us to segment 3, the midday reset.
Now, I have to admit something to you. I am guilty of the bad habit mentioned here. The source calls it the multitasking myth.
Many of us are guilty of this. It is very common in modern offices. Paul describes his lunch routine. He has a sandwich in his left hand and his computer mouse in his right hand.
He is eating and working at the exact same time. Chew, click, chew, click. He thinks he's being a multitasking master.
He thinks he is being efficient. He thinks he is saving time. He thinks his boss will be really impressed with him.
But Emily corrects him in the story. She gives him a new label. She calls him a stress-making master.
Ouch. That is a little harsh, but it is very true.
Why is working through lunch bad, though? I mean, technically, you are getting more work done, right? You are adding an extra hour of work to your day.
Not really, because quality is more important than quantity. Working through lunch leads to something called screen fatigue.
Let's focus on the vocabulary here. Screen fatigue. What exactly is it?
Fatigue is a great English word. It is another word for being very tired or exhausted. So, screen fatigue is exhaustion caused by looking at screens, computers, phones, tablets for too long.
We stare at glowing lights all day. What are the symptoms? How do I know if I actually have screen fatigue?
While your eyes feel dry or itchy, you might get a headache right behind your eyes and your brain. The source describes it as feeling full of cotton.
Full of cotton. I really like that description. It means your brain feels fuzzy, unclear. You can't think sharply. It's like a thick fog in your head.
Exactly. If you don't stop, your performance drops. You make mistakes. You read an email and you don't even understand what it says. You work slower. You need the solution, which is to unplug.
Unplug. Literally, this means pulling a plug out of the wall, like unplugging a lamp or a toaster.
Yes. But here, it is used as a metaphor. It means disconnecting from all technology.
No emails, no scrolling on your phone, no computer screen.
You need to step away. You need to physically leave your desk. You need to go outside, look at something real, look at a tree, look at the blue sky, look at a dog, look at a building. Anything that isn't a digital pixel.
The source uses a really helpful analogy here about a battery to explain why this works so well.
Think of your brain like a mobile phone battery. When you start the day, you are at 100%. But by lunchtime, after the commute and eating the frog and answering all those emails, maybe you are down to 5%.
The little red icon is flashing. You are about to shut down completely.
Yes, exactly. If you keep working without taking a break, you are working in low power mode. You are slow. Your screen is dim. You aren't processing information well.
But if you take a break,
a 15-minute walk outside is like plugging the phone into a fast charger. It charges the battery back up to 50%. You come back stronger. You come back brighter.
And it helps with creativity too. It isn't just about raw energy. It is about new ideas.
It does. Paul mentions an anecdote, a small story about a time he walked in the park during his lunch break. He was just watching a duck.
Just a normal duck swimming in a pond. Quack, quack.
And while watching the duck, doing nothing else, he suddenly had a great idea for his project. The answer just appeared in his head.
Why does that happen? Why do we get our best ideas when we aren't even working?
Because when you stop trying to force the idea, your brain relaxes. It makes connections in the background. Ducks are very wise, as Emily jokes in the source.
That's so true. When you stop thinking about work, the solution often just comes to you. Nature clears the mind. It resets the system.
So the lesson is, do not eat at your desk. Do not check Instagram while you eat your sandwich. Go find a duck, or at least go find a window to look out of.
Okay, so we have had our lunch. We unplugged. We watched a wise duck. We are back at the desk. But then it happens. The dreaded 3 o'clock wall.
The afternoon slump.
Segment 4, we have all felt this.
It is universal. It happens to almost everyone. It's that feeling when your energy just completely disappears. You are staring at the screen, but nothing is happening. You read the same sentence 3 times and you still don't know what it says. You just want to crawl into your desk and take a nap.
I have definitely felt that many times. And what is the typical reaction? What do most people do when they feel this tired in the afternoon?
They look for sugar, they look for caffeine, they walk down the hall to the vending machine, they buy a soda or a big chocolate bar. They think, I need energy, sugar is energy.
I mean, chocolate is delicious.
Yeah.
Emily even says in the story, life is sad without chocolate. And I have to agree with her. I love chocolate.
It is delicious. But as a strategy for productivity energy, it is a false fix. It is a trap.
Explain why. Why is sugar bad for your energy?
It creates a sugar spike. When you eat the chocolate, your blood sugar goes up very, very fast. For about 10 minutes, maybe 15, you feel great. You feel awake. You feel buzzed.
But what goes up must come down.
Precisely. Then comes the crash. The sugar crash. After that short spike, your energy drops even lower than it was before you ate the chocolate. You feel worse, you feel heavy, you feel incredibly sleepy.
So sugar is a short-term gain for long-term loss. It's like borrowing energy from the future with high interest. What is the real fix then? How do we wake up without using sugar?
Movement. The source suggests a movement break.
It sounds almost too simple. Just move. But let's look at the specific actions they recommend, because this is something our listeners can actually do right now.
First, stand up. You have been sitting for hours. Your body is practically asleep. Stand up.
Okay, I am imagining standing up right now.
Then stretch your arms high above your head. Reach for the ceiling. Try to touch the sky.
Make yourself as tall as possible. Stretch your spine out.
Exactly. Breathe in deep. Then bend over and touch your toes if you can. Stretch your back. Then walk to the water fountain and drink a glass of cold water.
It's physical. It wakes up the whole body.
Paul mentions hearing his back click. That sound of all the tension releasing, pop. He says he feels like he just woke up again.
I love the interactive moment in the source where they tell the listener to do it right now.
Yes. Unless you are driving a car or operating heavy machinery, do it right now. Stand up.
If you're listening to this at home, try it. Stand up, stretch, reach up.
It changes your blood flow. It gets fresh oxygen to the brain. It wakes you up much, much better than a chocolate bar ever could. And it is obviously much healthier.
So we have navigated the whole workday. We survived the commute by learning. We ate the frog in the morning. We unplugged at lunch. And we stretched through the afternoon slump.
That is a very productive day. That is a day where you control your time instead of time controlling you.
Before we wrap up, I want to do a vocabulary deep dive. This is segment 5. We threw a lot of terms at our listeners today. Let's review them clearly so they stick in your memory.
Great idea. Repetition is key for learning a language. Let's go through the power words of this episode.
Okay, word number 1. Commute.
Commute. This is the journey you take between your home and your work. It can be by bus, car, train, or even walking. For example, my commute is very long. It takes 1 hour each way.
Word number 2. Crowded.
Crowded. This describes a place that is full of people. Too many people. For example, the subway was so crowded I could not find a seat. Think of the sardines in the can.
Word number 3. Dead time.
Dead time. This is time when you are waiting or doing nothing productive. For example, I use the dead time in the waiting room to read a good book.
Word number 4. Our favorite idiom today. Eat the frog.
Eat the frog. This is an idiom. It means to do your most difficult, most scary task first thing in the morning. For example, I have to write a difficult report, so I'm going to eat the frog and do it now.
Word number 5. Screen fatigue.
Screen fatigue. The tired feeling you get in your eyes and your brain after looking at a computer or phone for way too long. For example, after 6 hours of coding, I had terrible screen fatigue.
And finally, word number 6. Unplug.
Unplug. To take a break from all electronics and technology, to fully disconnect. For example, on Sundays, I like to unplug and go hiking in the woods.
Excellent review. The source actually suggests writing these down in a notebook, maybe your own mobile classroom notebook.
Writing words down really helps you remember them. It is a classic study tip for a very good reason. When you write it, you physically connect the word to your brain.
So we have reached the end of the workday in our source material, but the daily routine isn't over yet.
No, it is not. The workday is done, but you still have to go home. And that brings its own unique set of challenges.
The source teases the next topic, the evening trap.
Yes. What happens when you get home and you are just too tired to do anything? You have worked hard, you commuted, and now you are completely exhausted.
And how do you stop watching cat videos on your phone at 11 o'clock at night? That is my personal problem. I get into bed and I just scroll and scroll.
That is a very real problem for a lot of people. It ruins your sleep. They mention interesting concepts like the digital sunset and preparing for perfect sleep. But that is for the next part of the series.
For today, we have a challenge for you. A little homework assignment.
We want you to identify your frog.
Think about tomorrow morning. What is the one task you are dreading? The one you are afraid of? The one you really don't want to do?
Identify it. Write it down on a piece of paper tonight. And then, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, eat that frog. Do it first.
See how it changes your entire day. And if you found this deep dive helpful, please share it with a friend. Maybe a friend who also wants to improve their English, or a friend who just needs to be a little more productive.
Sharing knowledge is the best way to learn. When you teach someone else, you actually learn it better yourself.
So true. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought, something to just chew on.
What is
We spend so much time optimizing our workday, trying to be productive. But what if the way we rest, watching videos, scrolling on our phones, what if that is actually just another form of exhausting work for our brains?
Oh, wow. That is a deep thought. Are we ever really resting?
Exactly. Maybe true rest requires just as much discipline as true work.
I love that. We will have to explore that more next time.
Good luck finding your frog tomorrow, everyone, and good luck with your English journey.
Keep climbing that mountain. You will reach the peak.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.